Nice little late knot breeze out here today. You should be out here. It's a beautiful day out here today. I'm just to the west of Jetty Island. Looking at the Cascade Mountains, all capped with snow. Beautiful sight today. A slight haze, but they're always a beautiful sight when it's clear enough to see them. This is snow-capped Mountain Baker, one of the many volcanoes that we have in the area over there. This area I'm in right now is the Snohomish River Delta, the Snohomish River Estuary. It gets shallow for a remarkable ways out away from shore here. It's a real popular area for Dungeness crabbing. This area on Jetty Island here is real popular with kite surfers. I don't see any at the moment, but it's midday on a Wednesday. I'm sure when they get off work they'll all be over here. They usually show up in droves when the wind's blowing strong. Sometimes I go sail right through the middle of them, which kind of scared me the first time I did it, as because they zip all over the place and you never know if you're going to run into them or not. But they a lot of times they come over and sail circles around me and wave. So it's actually, I think it's a lot of fun. Well, today's day's sail, I think I'm going to go check out Tulalip Bay. I've never actually been inside the bay before. I've been fishing just kind of outside of the bay in an area that they call the Bubble. The Bubble is it's a real popular salmon fishing spot. The Tulalip tribes have a salmon hatchery inside the bay, and so when the salmon come back to try to spawn, they kind of hang out just outside the bay trying to figure out where to go. And so the tribes allow anybody to come fish there during certain times of the year when most of the other areas are closed for salmon fishing. Tulalip Bay is a central part of the Tulalip Indian Reservation. The Snohomish people have fished these waters for thousands of years before Captain George Vancouver sailed in for his 10th anchorage. He was celebrated by the indigenous people, but then claimed the entire area for the British Crown. Inside the bay are the remains of a federal jail that was used to incarcerate those Tulalips that, quote, did not adhere to the white man's laws and customs, unquote. Staying at the jail was unpleasant. It was even more unpleasant when the tide rose and the tide breached the structure. After years of overfishing, the wild salmon population in this area was pretty much decimated. The Tulalip fishermen have given up fishing for wild salmon for more than 20 years now. Now they only fish for hatchery salmon that are reared at their Bernie Kai Kai Gobin Salmon Hatchery, which is located a short distance away from Tulalip Bay. Each year the hatchery raises and releases about 11.5 million juvenile salmon into the bay. The Tulalip tribes net these salmon when they return a few years later to spawn. Tulalip Bay is also really shallow. Most of it's less than 3 feet deep at low tide, and there's a long sandbar that extends into the middle of the bay, and it's exposed at low tide, blocks about half the bay. You also have to be careful of the tribe's fishing nets. You never know when they're going to have those things strung across the bay to catch the returning salmon. And so it was with a great deal of caution and a great deal of respect that I slowly approached the entrance to Tulalip Bay, carefully watching for any salmon nets that might be there, and also keeping an eye out for the rocky reefs at the entrance, and also the sandbar, because it was low tide at the time. So I'm going to carefully sail in here, and if I see anything, any nets or land, I'm going to immediately turn around and get out of here. Straight ahead I can see the historic St. Anne's Catholic Church. The church has been on the knoll since 1867. The current structure was built in 1904 after the original one burned down. Looking at Google Maps, you can see not only the sandbar that blocks the middle of the bay, but if you zoom in, you can actually see some of the salmon nets that are strung across the bay to catch the returning salmon. I don't know what time of year the Tulalip tribes deploy these nets, but I definitely don't want to get caught in one of them and spoil their fishery. And there, off to my starboard side, is the sandbar. I can see some land sticking up right there. Time to turn around and head on out. There she glows. On the way back, I just saw a gray whale surface. There have been gray whales and orca whales sighted in the bay here over the last month or so, and they're actually running whale watching charter boats out of the port of Everett. Here's one. And so ends another one of Ellie's adventures. Thanks for coming along with us and have a wonderful day.